Hello there, Cancer rising, sun and moon people. You're going to have an amazing month in which you're going to experience some significant great gains from your career. You're going to be really, really busy, but you're going to lush up financially, as well as you may expand your network of friends and social groups, or even get favors from friends in high places as things look really good for you in the month of November. Yeah, we do have some gnarly sky stories with some eclipse energy, but this is going to be more of a love up around your finances regarding things you're doing in the work and career path. So let's get going and talk about that. You're one of the signs that benefits financially, in my humble opinion, as one of the main stories. Now, who am I? I am Lori Lothian. I'm a Hellenistic whole sign house astrologer, and I am looking at the sky through the lens of Hellenistic, and I say that in Babylonian wisdom tools, but I'm also looking at it through the idea that it is a true story that you might want to learn from. So it can help you navigate your life and make choices that are wise and sound. So if you're into that kind of stuff, why don't you like my subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications and all of that, because I will be doing an in-depth video on the upcoming November 8th eclipse that you really don't want to miss. And also, what else can I tell you? Sign up for my newsletter, Cosmic Moonshine. You get entered all kinds of draws, you get free prizes, you get discount codes for readings with me, or join my Patreon community. You get early access to all my videos for like $5, and you get ad-free content and more. So let's get rolling and talk about this sky today. I'm recording October 24th, and I'm telling you that because you won't get it, that my Patreon gets it now. You'll get it later. So first of all, it's an interesting month because we have retrogradation in place. We have two planets going retrograde just before the month started. That is Mars and Jupiter. At the same time, Uranus and Neptune are also still retrograde. So in a way, the more planets that are retrograde, things are kind of on a bit of a lull. There's kind of like this quiet energy, the stillness or the contemplation or the sometimes stuckness before things move forward, and a lot of momentum moving forward when Mars and Jupiter go direct, and also Neptune and did I say Neptune? Neptune and Uranus are delayed promises, right? So we will have Mars direct, January 12th, we'll have Jupiter direct December 20th. So there's a kind of sense that there's a lot going on in November that it has promise for you, but it's not the full Monty, although that's separate from the great cash flow you're going to come into. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to try to break it down planetary wise as opposed to necessarily for you in chronological order. Okay, number one, Venus and Mercury. Venus and Mercury have been traveling through the sign of Scorpio. And in your natal sky, this has been a good thing. I mean, they've been there since October 23rd. Venus was in Scorpio, and November 6th, and October 29th. Mercury was in Scorpio, entered into Scorpio. And so then basically it's going to be the middle of the month, 16th and 17th. They both go holding hands and leave for Sagittarius. What does it mean for you? During the time they're in Scorpio, they're water trining your ascendant. They're flowing and opening up doors of ease in your life. And the ease is coming from where you find your joy, your fun, your play, your pleasure. This is also your independent business enterprise, pregnancy, fertility, and your children. I mean, having them going through the fifth house, basically, of your whole sign sky is a positive thing. And please listen for your rising sign. It will be the most accurate. Sun and moon are fine as well, but your rising is the most accurate. Now, as this is going on then till the middle of the month of November, with Venus in here, I mean, she is in Scorpio, not her best placement, but can indicate a new romance, a very kind of sexually active, intense, witchy, fun, deep, maybe fun, kinky, I don't know, scorpionic romance. It's taking off because maybe you and your partner are having an enlivenment, or there's something new where you could get a new romance. Because with Mercury holding your hand here, it's a lot of maybe phone calls, emails, and sweet nothing whispers to each other. Or this is a lot of communication about your independent business enterprise going back and forth with some female or Venus female, or things to do with money. But you're doing fine here because it loves your ascendant up and it flows. Okay. Then they move into Sagittarius, holding hands together around the 16th, 17th of the month, and we'll be there for the rest of the month. And what this is going to offer you in the second half of November is the beginning of what looks like, oh my gosh, Cancers, a huge busyness in your work, your business, your home, if you're a home-based business, it doesn't matter. You work for somebody, your workplace, you're going to be like your job, your colleague, coworker space is super highly active. And it can involve pets, getting new pets, buying pets, selling pets. It can involve a new lease, a new tenancy, because this house is also leases and tenancies. It can also maybe be a debt elimination time, because Mercury here with Venus can do that for you. And this is a story that also is going to be just like incredibly powerful for healing anything in your physical wellness that needs to be healed, resolving problems with your health. Venus comes here every year, but this time she's traveling with Hygeia in Sagittarius, so the goddess of healing. And there is a particularly luscious new moon here in your work house and health house as well. And that is going to be a beautiful Sagittarius moon on the 23rd of November. It's like 1 degree Sag kind of vibe. Can't complain, because what this does is it sort of sets a new beginning that will take 6 months to fruit in the health and work area of your chart. This is really saying you're going to be spending a lot of time focused on that. And the reason I brought your work, your health, but your work is busy but productive and auspicious. And if you work as a healer, especially because Hygeia is there, you're off to the races. But the other thing I say is that, the sun is the Lord of your second house of earnings, and it's in this new moon here. And it's joined with, in the new moon, a conjunction to Venus, a conjunction to Mercury. And so this is good. Like, it's going to kind of portend like a stamping in over the 2 weeks that follow, a real glow up financially as it applies to the work you're doing in the world, the job that you hold. Now, if you don't like your job, this is a gorgeous opportunity for a new job or something changing in the workplace that is going to be really auspicious and happy for you. And then, Venus is going to be at one point, coming into a fire trying to Chiron in your house of career. So this could be a real moving into deeper purpose sometime in about the 25th or 6th of the month, or into a deeper healing of your own wounds around your reputation, career, and choices around career. So, I mean, it just kind of is so good for you. I just can't go on about it enough. So we jumped ahead, yes, to November 23rd, because I am focused on this, like, really intense stellium in your natal 6th house. Now, one of the other things I want to point out is that with this retrogradation of Mars, right, it started October 30th in Gemini and lasts till January 12th. Mars is traveling in Gemini, which is a house of your own self-undoing, the 12th house. So, I mean, it can be your addictions, your own self-sabotage, the place of your karma, the gnarly things in your subconscious psychological stuff. It's a spiritual awakening house as well. And as Mars is retrograding here, he's doing a few cool things, okay? One is he's trying to cut away, pare away, and release all through November any kind of self-created roadblocks that you've been putting in place in your own life. All right. So you are in a psychic cleaning, elimination, recondo of the soul vibe with Mars here. And this is continuing to happen all month, but there's a few things he's doing as he does this. It's not just that he's just moving retrograde through your 12th house. He's engaging Jupiter and Neptune as well. Now, Jupiter, we're going to, hopefully this is not complicated, but Jupiter in your 9th house, right? Because Jupiter also retrograde moved into your 9th house of God, truth, wisdom, foreign lands, and travel, right, on the 28th of October, and will enter into a really lovely energy here, because even though it's a square, it can involve a trip to a foreign land, planning a trip or taking a trip, or some serious new directionality and clarity around legal affairs, visas, and such. It's kind of, Mars is in a foreign lands house, Jupiter's retrograding in a foreign lands house, and this can really open up some kind of possibility of a really important journey. And if you go back, and when does this happen? I apologize, I might not have said when it happens. It's happening around, I'm looking at my big calendar on the wall. When does Mars do that again? It's happening around the end of the month. Okay. So as you get into this end of the month time frame, there may be a journey, a trip, a plan to take a trip that you're able to execute. But before that, he does go into a square to Neptune, and Mars squaring Neptune, it's not a necessarily easy story. I would say, like, let me just say this. There is a broad square all month long, okay, between Mars and Jupiter, and then Neptune and Mars, and it's in the house of court cases, legal affairs, and foreign lands. So you may have to cut through some illusion, delusion, and dross to get that trip up and running, to make that legal or court thing happen, to get that book to an agent. These are ninth house themes. Now, there is this sort of cool, beautiful Venus support for that trip that Mars is kind of gnarly with, or that legal affair or foreign land event or academic success or whatever it is, learning environment. Because with Jupiter back here, right, from October all through the month of November, retrograding in your ninth house, actually until December 20th even, Venus is going to step in, the benefic goddess of love, art, and beauty, and everything else. And she's going to try to help. And she's going to do the help on the 14th and 15th of the month of November, where what she's going to do is she's going to form a trine to Jupiter in your ninth house. So, like, it could be a really lucky opportunity from Venus in your fifth house of leisure travel, children, fun, play, and pleasure, to go on a trip with somebody romantically, or one of your children, or somebody that is going to be enjoyable to hang with. Maybe a woman, a female. So look for that breakthrough energy from Venus around the 14th, 15th, and you may find yourself going on a trip, or planning a trip, or plotting a trip. Let's talk next about that Jupiter a little bit more. If you go back to April last year and the first week of May, that's when Jupiter was really in the late degrees of your ninth house, and it was sending beams of love and flow directly at your identity. You may have been having a glow up, a prosperity glow up as well, because he activates the fifth, but you were feeling good. You might have been teaching or learning or studying under a particular teacher or a body of teaching. And this is back, right? This is Jupiter going back until November 23rd when he goes direct. So between the beginning of November and November 23rd kind of thing, you're going back over some old ground regarding teaching, planning a trip to a place you've been before, connecting to God, religion, spiritual guides, gurus, and teachers may come your way. But you may be able to relate to the end of April / beginning of May, because this was there then. And then on November 23rd, long goes Jupiter moving forward till fast-paced till the December 20th. That would be taking the trip, planning the trip for sure, setting the wheels in motion, booking the tickets, whatever else, getting the court case, the judge rules in your favor, anything legal. November 23rd to December 20th, Jupiter moving forward, especially late degree, like let's say 20 to 29 Cancer rising, sun or moon, you win the day in court, you win the legal affairs, you get that visa, you get that trip off the ground, you get that book published, etc. Okay. And the ninth house is third marriages. They go strong in one of the Vedic traditions I use. And the ninth house is also just luck. So it's a very lucky time for you, November 23rd to December 20th. Okay, doing these videos, you lose your mind, because you know what I mean? Like, you go kind of wonky because you're talking so long. I need to take some tips from people who do this a lot. Moving forward, Jupiter, we did Jupiter. So Saturn direct. Saturn, the taskmaster, goes retrograde a lot. I mean, for 5 months every year, but he's come out of his retrogradation on 23rd of October, and he's going forward in your joint money houses, money that you share with a business partner, spouse, money that you get from investments or inheritances or tax rebates or credit cards or mortgages and loans. Now, just saying, going direct, Saturn here is going to move forward, and he's no longer going to be retrograde. So this is for financial momentum in those areas, but with sober-minded, realistic, stern, and good caution. Saturn in this place, it's a good time to pick up a stock or two if cash is king and the market shall collapse at some point in November. Then you might be doing some pickings in the bottom of a stock barrel for some real finds, but you'll have common sense and caution, because Saturn direct here is still Saturn. He's not going to have you do some risky stuff. Moving forward into another story, I'm not going to do the eclipse here, but because I'm going to do a very deep dive, that's where you should hit my like button and subscribe. And if you're watching this live on my premiere, please do also hit my like button. You really do want, I won't be premiering this because so you really do want to pay attention from that eclipse that's happening on the November 8th. to some breakthroughs in your groups of belonging, or some shifts or some fullness here. It's a full moon. It's at 15, 16 degrees, actually almost 16 degrees of Taurus. It's got Uranus here, some jolts of sudden exciting things with your eldest sibling, some harvesting and reaping and fulfillments of the great gains from your career that you put into motion last April 30th. Now you're harvesting and reaping those gains. Some big, beautiful completion energy regarding things to do with your a fulfillment of a dream or a goal. Now, even though it's an eclipse, right? So, I mean, these, I'm talking kind of like full moon archetypes. You do have on the other side in your business house or your children's house, a Mercury in the heart of the sun, you know, to make that full moon. So there's going to be some news or reveals that are a little shocking and surprising from one of your children or your lover. Okay, that could very well happen as a result of this particular eclipse. It doesn't have to be bad, you know, but there's no steering wheel on an eclipse. So go check out the deep dive video. Have a lot more depth in that video that you might appreciate for you as a Cancer rising. Now, and I already covered this glorious new moon coming at the end of the month on the 23rd. So now I'm going to get you some micro transits during the month that might interest you. From November 5th to the 7th, Venus will be opposite Uranus. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up for you, Venus opposite Uranus, is it playing on that eclipse a little bit. And it's going to build up just before the eclipse. And Venus opposite Uranus is that shocking, surprising news that may be showing up just before the eclipse. And it is a lot to do with something one of your children may deliver to you, your lover. You know, that's the 5th house where Venus is traveling. So get ready for some reveals from those people in your life just before the November 8th eclipse. And there's a square ongoing to Saturn at the time. So it has a vibe here of secrets being revealed by a child or a lover, disclosures about things that are hidden from view, maybe some money disclosures and breakthroughs here that are a little surprising as well, just in your life in general. And then Venus does some nice things to us. She trines Neptune November 10th and sextiles Pluto November 13th. Therefore, let's put it this way, between November 8th and the 15th, there is this Venus love up with 2 planets here. And Venus trining Neptune is really about, in your sky, this potential for a fantastical, dreamy getaway, maybe near water. It's so beautiful. Leisure trip planning, leisure trip taking, things like that. But in the sextile to Pluto, where she's forming a mini grand trine with this Neptune, this is also to do with your significant others. Maybe your husband and you, or maybe your business partner and you are going to plan this trip. If you have your own business, this could be you offering a teaching to your audience, an educational product to your audience, something like that as well. And it will go very well because Venus will bring it on for you. Also, the sun will trine Neptune at the same time. Sun in Scorpio, loving up Neptune, Venus participating. Vibrationally, it's pretty darn positive. And what I say is sun trine Neptune, it's the light of your soul's purpose or your ambition or your goals or whatever you want to call it for what it is you want to do on planet Earth, really. And so getting that vibe of the sun at the end of the storyline, kind of offering a little support. Now, technically, let me say one more thing about this. The sun will be almost perfectly trine Neptune on the 22nd, and Venus has already passed the perfect trine, right? She was doing that on the 10th. So she got there first. So let's put it this way. Venus is seductive and charismatic and lovely and loves sex and play and fun and pleasure and money, luck in the 5th house. And she's in her joy there. And so on the 10th, she goes over and talks to Neptune and sends some beams of warming up the seaside love God, unconditional love God. And then the sun follows suit, right? And follows through with something more important on a little bit later. Did I say the date? On the 14th. So somehow November 10th and 14th are connected. That's what I'm trying to get at regarding trips, travel, children, fun, play, pleasure, journeys, leisure travel, financial luck as well. I'm looking at my backboard where I have all this written down. Let's take a look at this one. There's an ongoing, like, Mars square Neptune basically for months and months and months because of his retrograde in Gemini. So anytime between August and March, we keep repeating Mars Neptune square. Mars is trying to clear the illusion, the delusion, the fog. Okay. He's an anti-fog machine. He's like when your windshield's fogged up and you put that cold air on it, this is what he's doing. Where is he dispelling the fog that your perceptions are off base? So I want to point out that he will do this defogging between November 16th and 22nd as he retrogrades through the house of your hidden enemies, people who don't have your back, illusions, delusions, not illusion, delusions, self-defeating strategies, undoings, bad habits, and karma. And Neptune is an addictions god. So if you're a Cancer rising with an addictive habit or pattern, he's trying to clear it out. And it may be connected to the father. Maybe you followed in your father's footsteps or a father figure with this delusional thing. He's also trying to clear any fog or uncertainty around journeys to foreign lands or legal affairs or things to do with a third marriage. Okay. And that's going to happen November 16th to 22nd. Almost finished the month. Venus will conjunct with Mercury around the time of that moon. Now I'm going to highlight it here just a little bit separately because Venus Mercury conjunction in your sixth house of work could be a promotion, news of a raise, an email from somebody in the workspace that like startles you with some goodness. Okay. And so look for that lovely time there. Or even some really positive news about a health challenge, even a lab work or report coming back with good news on the 19th to the 23rd-ish when that's happening. And we finish strong at the end of the month, Mars trine Saturn, November 26th to the end of the month. I already talked a little bit about this, I think, or did I? I think I did. It can really help. No, I didn't. Help you move forward through backroom deals and negotiations to straighten out financial things with your marriage partner, business partner, banks, loans, mortgages. Those things are really fortified and moving forward in a positive and productive way, even involving property and real estate, if that's something that goes on for you at this time. So that's a positive energy that you can engage. And Mars in the 12th house is like, it's very subtle. It can also be like you may have some insights around how to handle your money or intuitive hits, but Mars is applying some positive support to your joint finances with your spouse and other things like that, investment money, inheritance money, taxes, and debts. Okay, done. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, did I cover? Yeah, I did cover everything. Check out that eclipse video where you'll go into the deeper dive, probably out by November 1st, I would guess. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and you sign up for my newsletter, you get a whole bunch of goodies. It's all in the description box. People don't seem to know there's a description box. Check the description box. It's under the video.